Hello and welcome to another video explaining the war server. Now, as violent as the war server sounds at first, it's a lot more civil than you would think, though it has its moments. But first off, let me go over what I'll be covering in this video and what this video is. This video is a simple explanation of what the war server is and the general gist of the server and explanations of the systems. But that's your context, so shut up and listen. The war server is a strategic Minecraft nation server with hints of RP elements, which lands it in the middle of being a pure RP server and a civilization builder with blocks. It's a weird but charming position for those who love to make lore, but also love playing with numbers and leveling strategies. The war server also consists of many systems that make up the overall experience, which I'll be covering in the upcoming sections, such as borders, economy, trading, war systems, so it doesn't become a brainless anarchy server with players blowing other people's builds up while they're offline,
has a reputation,
and corporation systems. If this is your first video you're watching on the channel, hi, by the way, I'm Wings. I made another video before this exploring the world the war server takes place in, Oceana, so be sure to check it out before or after. Nevertheless, let's continue. The war server's basic concept is to 1. Start a country, 2. Build on that country, 3. Go to war if you want. Each of these elements are the core basics of the war server and what everything revolves around, no matter what other little things show up. The core basics, with slight adjustments, also work with businesses or corporations. Building cities, expanding your military, going to war, forging peace, etc. Another component of the war server, on top of the nations, is expanding them in lore. You get to world build along certain common guidelines and create narratives between countries to enrich Oceana even further. This all combined is the soul of the war server and what makes us so special. Nations, as stated previously, are the main component of the war server and make up like 90% of the Minecraft popcorn stand's revenue. Nations are pretty simple to start. Just let there be land available, choose to start one, name it, design it, build a flag for it, and then build on it. Whether it be physically block by block or lore-wise, story by story. The tricky part might be surviving though. As a nation, there are many systems you need to be wary of, such as your neighbors, how big your economy is, how many minerals you're mining every week, and how much money you make, if your military is strong enough, or even if you've been on enough recently. All these can be stressful but fun aspects of being a country leader. It grounds the nations. Therefore, the server, in this game of logistics that helps separate the war server of a strategic flair. Yeah. On the side, during times of peace, when you're not getting invading someone over the big Begruptons that got blown up yesterday, you can expand your country with lore, a common pastime for frequent players of the server. Many leaders and members create languages, cultural touches, lore explanations for certain buildings, ethnic groups within the empires, backstories for certain characters to populate the world, laws and order, and a good dose of doctor-ordered propaganda, with goofy mixing with seriousness most of the time. I'll go more into detail in the following section on the specifics on what a nation leader exactly handles within the core systems of the war server, but that's the basics of what you need to know when it comes to the countries. Us as humans are born valuing two things, both of them heavily projected in the idea of countries: money and blowing each other up. And that doesn't just stop in real life. The two most important systems of the war server you must understand to even exist here is the economic system and all the war systems. I'll be mostly focusing on the economic systems here, as the war server systems. I'll be mostly focusing on the economic systems here, as the war systems are a whole nother monster of twisting labyrinths and sleepless nights of rule writing. But I'll go over them briefly too. The economic system consists mainly of three things: ODP, the size and building of cities, and trading. Let's start with ODP. ODP, or Oceanic Dollar Point, is the primary currency of the war server and is used for the purchase of military assets. Vehicles such as tanks, jets, ships, etc. Land deals, bribing, or any major transaction in the war server. It's important to have ODP to spare because a bigger budget may just be the deciding factor in a war of attrition with your rival, or buying a piece of territory you've been eyeing without, going to war with your friend over. That's a bad look, don't do that. Now let's talk about cities. Cities are arguably the single most important thing in the war server. They're kind of what made the name war server solidly archaic. See, in the war server, cities aren't just an afterthought to the big boom booms. They're central to even fighting the big boom booms. Cities' main functions are to generate ODP for the countries every week and be a trading hub. and also be symbols of grandeur and key points of capture during conflicts. It allows countries to claim a certain rite of passage into superpower status, especially if your city is very good looking. Cities are divided into 4 sizes, each making more money as they get bigger. Towns would make 2 ODP a week, small cities would make 4 ODP a week, medium cities would make 6 ODP a week, and big cities would make a whopping 8 ODP a week. These are subject to change, we might change them soon, but as of now, that's what they are. Without cities, you won't have ODP to buy military with, and therefore no defense or honestly any legitimacy in Oceania. So make sure to save your money and don't go recklessly spending it, or your efforts. Don't go just trying to build military. It's not gonna work out. Make sure you build your cities. Trading. Let's get into trading. Trading is a system that builds off of cities and allows a country to make a little extra money on top of the weekly revenue of all your cities. Trading is simple, kind of. Honestly, it's kind of a pain in the butt to keep track of, but whatever. Each city has 3 trading slots within it and can fill those 3 trading slots by announcing trade with other cities. Trading gives Oceanic cents, basically the cents to the ODP, and gives a little extra income that can add up over time, especially if you have multiple cities trading at a time. A neat dynamic is that if a slightly smaller city trades with a bigger city, the smaller city makes slightly more revenue as it receives more value from the developed one, giving smaller countries a slight boost from their allies if their allies want to help. If 2 bigger cities trade, their trade revenue is equal or higher in general, making strategic trading, let's say between 2 big cities, possible. A huge downside of trade, however, is that if you have a huge trade reliant on someone, i.e. worst case scenario, you're completely trading with one country. Don't do that, by the way. That's a horrible idea. And that said, someone shuts off trade, it could spiral your country into an economic depression. If this happens all over the world and people just stop trading with each other, it causes a global depression. And that's not good. It kind of reminds you that we're all punished by the mistakes of others. The war server wouldn't be complete without the very thing it was named after. War, ships blowing each other up, airstrikes on enemy targets, walls of armor blowing each other to bits, the shifting tides of men defying the victorious ideals of their homeland with gunpowder and blood. All fun stuff, which we do partake in, but here in the war server, we give it some structure. And most other Minecraft servers I've joined usually see warfare being conducted with PvP combat, which is fine, but it's not my cup of tea. You know, usually hoping you get to the other person's base first and then you blow it to a kingdom come. Here in the war server, however, we have defined systems of front line. Basically, the entire war server plays like a huge magic battlefield. That means nations will wage wars in controlled pitch battles that will follow along a certain flow of combat as one nation advances into other territory or defends their territory. This allows for more strategic warfare, such as specialized monitored systems for tank combat, jet combat, ship combat, etc. And at the same time, allows for PvP during infantry combat while also feeling like you're pushing in a cohesive offensive, with countries taking land slowly and fairly. As a nation, you'll need to decide many aspects when it comes to conducting war that I will be explaining in a later video, but I'll briefly summarize some of the many elements. What border you'll attack on, named the front. Which general areas you'll attack on that border, / front, named area of advance. What micro movements you'll take in that general area of advance, attack prongs. All essential for planning ground operations, or fighting in water, what island you'll move to after fighting a brutal island hopping campaign. What ships to compose a fleet out of to engage your enemy ships, etc. With all that, you'll also have to see what type of combat the terrain calls for. Like if the ground is open enough for a pure tank invasion, then you'll most likely need to send your battalion of tanks in to fight the other tanks. And it'd be more of a blitzkrieg war. Or if it's a dense city, that'll require slow, annoying, deadly urban warfare. All this makes war orderly and allows the player to engage in a fair, realistic, intense gameplay experience. While the war server's main focus is the nations, there is still another element to the world. Corporations are a way for countries to boost revenue, or most importantly, allow members to gain revenue for themselves and allow them to have a bigger voice in a server full of powerful countries. It is a main part of the game for those who don't want the responsibility of running a nation, because I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of annoying, but still want to have something to do, such as a platform to protect influence, a way to collect money, or just something to personalize distinctly as their own within the server. It also enriches Oceana's world by allowing notable brands to populate the cities across the world. So for example, you'll see a PFC or a McCrumpets or a Chick-fil-A around the world. Yes, those are real names. There are two types of corporations, government-owned and private corporations. The main difference between the two is that who owns them and to what sides you can spread. I'll expand on it further, but the main pathway corporations or businesses to earn money is by buying and building business buildings that vary in size and revenue. Governments can only place revenue-earning business buildings in other countries, not their own. They're allowed to build buildings of their corporation's brand in their own country. That's completely fine. But they can't make them official money-earning business buildings. Example, let's say my country, Draconia, my beautiful, beautiful country, the best country ever. I want to build my own brand, make crumpets within Draconia. I can do that, but they can't make money. But it still will add to my city and allow it to maybe level up in size, maybe from a town to a small city, or if it's already a small city to a medium city. It allows, but that certain building itself cannot generate ODP cents or ODP in general. Privately owned corporations, however, are built to be more flexible and designed for members, as they can build business buildings in any country, including the country they're part of. Each corporation is required to have an HQ. And more for private corporations, it is kind of obvious for government-owned ones in which country they should be in. Whichever country the HQ is located in is the country that that corporation is registered in. That means the owning country can fund, defend, or even shut down your business immediately. Yay. Business buildings, as stated previously, are the main source of revenue for corporations in the WarServer. These business buildings, similarly to cities, are divided into 4 classes: small business buildings, medium business buildings, large business buildings, and finally, mega business buildings. Whew. Each one being bigger and needing more detail and making more money than the last. Business buildings can be incredibly valuable to a country, even if it's from a foreign company, because a country can slightly tax them or allow them in as a sign of cooperation with another country. Risks can come with this, however. If your company establishes business buildings in a country that doesn't really like you, they can seize them and take the asset itself. Basically like stealing it, lol. Good thing though, if you withdraw your business buildings before they seize them, you get to keep them. There is a little time period between, however, from whenever you announce your business building's withdrawal, that a nation can forcefully siege your building and your private mercenaries can fight them off. So have fun with that. Speaking of mercenaries, private corporations can also buy military assets if they wish and operate a full private military if their country of origin allows it. It also allows members to act as independent third entities to conflicts and, gives them something to fight for, maybe their own private interests. And also gives them a fighting role along their leaders, making them a valuable asset to country leaders. Alright y'all, thank you so much for watching this long video. If you enjoyed me talking your ear off about WarServer, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate anybody who's open to hear about our silly little Minecraft server and spend time learning about the world that's so special to us. I'll be posting more videos going deeper into some details covered into this video, alongside a lot of WarServer gameplay content, just us chilling and messing around in the world, building, maybe fighting wars, and Oceana lore history, so you know what the heck is going on, what happened and what led to the current political situation today. But yeah, I had a lot of fun writing the script. I hope I'll have a lot of fun editing the video. I don't know. I probably didn't. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one, WarServer peeps. God bless, and have a good day. Oh, my legs! Ah! My legs are asleep! Oh!